thing you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched C-beams glitter in the dark near the 10-house gate. All those moments will be lost in time. Like tears in rain.
All right, guys, let's continue. I got to show you part of 116 because I find this hilarious. So this is 116, all right? Here we go. All right. So, Laker. 111 report. Trip to Boise. So on January 6th, okay, he gets stuff from the lab in Meridian, brings it back, right? Okay. But this is funny. Prior to coming back to Moscow, I stopped at Dylan's house in Boise to retrieve the personal items which had been released to her earlier in the week by accident. This is how we investigate crimes in Moscow, right? By accident. Yeah, they released property to her that was actually evidence, and now they had to go pick it up. But who the hell knows what happened with this evidence while it was in her possession? We don't know. Oh my God. Yeah, this is how they investigate in Moscow, guys. Seriously. Yeah, it was by accident. I packed these belongings into my vehicle and returned to Moscow. Once back in Moscow, I booked all the nod evidence now that's been tainted from the state lab back into property. Oh my God. I left Dylan's personal items locked in the vehicle I was driving. That's a great way to store evidence. And on 1923, okay, I transported these items to the city shop and I placed them in a secure garage. One item of note is as the items were being loaded into the vehicle I was driving, a Ford Fusion, was it white? We were able to get everything into the vehicle except a small table. We attempted several times to get the table into the vehicle, but it was not going to fit. How many cops does it take to change to fit a little table in a Ford Fusion? I don't know. Probably the whole department. Anyway, now this is interesting. This is very interesting to me, guys. D, and I'm assuming this is Dylan. Okay. Stated they did not care if the table was returned. So she had her husband. So is this must be Dylan's, is this Dylan's mom, I'm guessing? This must be Dylan's stepmom, right? Yeah. Because Dylan's not married, right? Right. Okay, it was returned. So she had her husband break the table and place it in the vehicle. So, what the fuck? So Dylan's father is here now somehow, right? Is this how I'm reading it? So Dylan's father, right? Brent, right? That's his name, Brent. So he was there and he broke the table and placed it in the vehicle. Like his vehicle? The Ford Fusion? What vehicle? See again, Moscow. Yeah, it's part of the whole plan here is not knowing how to write. On a 11023. Oh, Little House is coming soon. I told Ann Taylor, defense counsel for the suspect, about why and who broke the table. Oh my God. This is like a bad Three Stooges. This is like a Three Stooges episode, isn't it, guys? Oh my God. Hey, Ann, yeah, by the way, we had to break a piece of evidence, and it was Dylan's father who broke the table. Yeah, the person whose evidence we're trying to get back. Oh, Moscow, I love you so. Tyrone loves you. Tyrone loves you so much. Sometimes Tyrone thinks his name is Sergeant Zappa. Okay. Anyway, Blaker, reviewed the same day by one of our favorites. All right, Mr. Payne. All right. Hey, that was 116. All right, let's carry on. Okay, guys, this is 117. I have to show this to you. Okay, I felt this was a little interesting only because we're talking about the prime here and Bethany. All right. So Dustin Blaker 111. Okay, Ann Taylor is at the garage. So on January 10th, excuse me, at around 1:15 p.m., I met with Ann Taylor, all right, and her team. Yeah. And we know who she was. Yeah. Taylor had arranged to go through the garbage sent to us from Pennsylvania by FBI investigators. Items from Madison's room and Xana's room, 2 vehicles belonging to Ethan Chapin, and personal items belonging to Ethan, Dylan, and Bethany. Yes, sir. All right, so, yeah. Okay, Taylor also identified several items she wanted us to keep until she saw reports of these items. Taylor was good with where we were keeping the mattresses, bed frames, nightstands, shelf, and sheets from Madison's room and Xana's room. I escorted Taylor and her team to the city shop, and they went through the personal belongings, items. Okay, they went through personal items that were removed from the King Road house weeks earlier. These items belong to Bethany, Dylan, and Ethan. Interesting, right? She wanted those items. When Taylor was done, she identified several items she wanted MPD to hold, and she was going to request an order from the judge to take these items and have them tested. These items were placed in cardboard boxes to be shipped off on eBay. No, I'm sorry. And placed away from the other items so that they would not accidentally be released again. We're going to release more back to Dylan she shouldn't have, right? To tamper with. Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine releasing evidence like of your prime suspect back to the prime suspect accidentally. Oh my fucking God. I'd give it up at that point. I'd say, nope, I'm hanging them up. I'm hanging them up, guys. Yeah, that's exactly what kind of happened here, actually. Taylor and her team looked at both vehicles while at the shop. Taylor stated she would contact Inverse Bill Thompson, Santa Claus office, and would advise him when she felt items could be released. Okay, January 11th, Mr. Blaker, and reviewed the same day by Payne. All right, there you go. Hey, 117 babies. Dylan and Bethany. And Ethan in that, too. Ethan in there. All right, Dylan and Bethany, Ethan. Weird. Hey, guys, if you want a really good laugh, check out number 119. I'm not covering it, but again, Little House on the effing Prairie. Okay, just check that out. Yeah. Anyway, we're not covering that. Okay. 116, 117, 118 is nothing of relevance to me. 119 is a joke if you want to read that. Or you may be seeing double. Just saying. That's 119. Let's see what else we got. All right, guys. 122 is next. 116, 117, 122. Let's go. All right, here we go. 122. Mr. Payne in my ass. 120, the report. All righty, here we go. I found this one interesting. I was going a couple different ways with this one. I was like, are they trying to set up an explanation for why the dog wasn't there? Is that what they're trying to do here? Maybe. But then again, who would let the dog out? Right? Brian Kohlberger. He ain't going to leave the dog out. No. Listen, on 118, way after the wolf has been caged now for a little bit. Yeah, 3 weeks almost, right? I spoke to K.A. Emily. I spoke to K.A. Emily in reference to a suspicious occurrence she and Emily remembered having at the 112 King Roadhouse. Oh my God. How many words do I have to put in there? I called Kay and asked her what she remembered. Kay told me she came to Moscow to celebrate Emily's birthday on 2022. Kaylee had planned a party for Emily at the King Road that evening. Don't know what date it was. Kay stated several people, whatever, to include Kaylee and Emily. Kay stated there were several people there to, Master Nature, Ashley, well, you know that house we bought on the prairie? Oh my God, well, okay, let's go. So Kaylee was there and Emily, okay. They were on the back patio during the party, okay. Kaylee's dog Murphy was also there, okay. Kay stated Murphy ran up into the bushes behind the house on several occasions. Well, I thought we were at this party. Now it's several occasions. And would not return when called. Kay stated they called Murphy numerous times before he would come back. Kay told me the group eventually went inside and shut the door. This was the only occurrence Kay was present for, but told me Emily remembered more similar occasions. Okay. I called Emily on 119 in reference to these occurrences. Oh my God. Oh, pain in my ass. Can't write. Yeah. Emily also related the occasion on her birthday and added it was unlike Murphy to not immediately return home when called, which is the reason she and Kaylee were concerned about someone being behind the house when Murphy would behave in this manner. Emily told me about another occasion on 10/29 during which she was at the King Road house for a Halloween party where shit starts going wrong, right? Emily told me Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan were all present at this party. Okay, the Halloween party, right? Right? Isn't this where we see Dylan supposedly getting bullied? Correct? During the party, Emily stated the group gathered on the back patio once again, and Murphy began to run into the wood line behind the house and not come back. Emily told me they heard noises too. She described these noises as similar to what it would sound like if someone was moving through the woods on foot. Or this. Or it could be the dog. Okay? Yeah, the dog could be making the same noises. You know, like a dog rustling through the leaves? Oh, my Lord. Yeah. Anyway, this occasion took place midday, and they did not see anyone behind the house. However, Murphy's behavior and the noises caused them to go inside and close the door. Bye, Murphy. I'm sorry. Oh, you're on your own. Poor Murphy. Oh, fuck him. He's getting eaten by a bear. A bear's in the woods. Sorry, Murphy. Remember those bears? Oh, my God. The last occasion Emily remembered took place approximately 2 weeks prior to the unalivings. So, again, well, it's probably almost the same day, right? Okay. Emily was unsure of the date. Okay. Emily stated Murphy displayed similar behavior of running into the woods and not coming back when called. Emily also recalled an occurrence during this time frame, exact date unknown, wherein she and Kaylee returned to the King Road house and found the rear sliding door standing open. And Murphy was missing. So are they setting up why the dog wasn't there narrative here, part of it? Right? Because people are going to be like, well, why wasn't the dog there, right? So is this a convenient way to set that up? Oh, that's why the dog wasn't there that night. Oh, it must have ran off into the wood line, right? Is that what they're setting up here, is my question. Right? Because this is a alibi for the dog, essentially, right? Well, that's why he wasn't there. But we're missing the point here, though, guys. Who is opening up the doors and letting him out? Right? Whoever is at that house, right, knows. So that's an interesting thing. The people who are at the house at this time, right, the roommates, they're the only people, essentially, except maybe that creeper on the hill that we don't know about. They're the only ones that would know Murphy would do that, right? They're the only ones that would know that Murphy would do that. That would be his behavior. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind for when that night comes. And Murphy is missing for approximately almost 3 hours. He's missing. Well, about 2.5, right? So around there. 2 hours and 45 minutes, whatever. So keep that in mind. Who let Murphy out of the house? And whoever let Murphy out of the house would know he would do this. Especially if there are other people lurking outside the house. So, who would that be? It's not going to be Brian Kohlberger. Brian Kohlberger doesn't know who Murphy is, right? Doesn't know what Murphy's personality is or his behaviors. So it's not Brian Kohlberger doing this. It's somebody who's familiar with Murphy, who knows his behavior. Just like everybody else in this case. He has his own behavior as well, right? Right. And we can't ignore that. So, it's somebody who knows Murphy and knows he would do this, who would leave and not come back when called. So who would that be, guys? There's your suspect again. That's your prime again. Who's the primes here, right? Who are the primes? Okay, I asked Emily if it was common for people who didn't live at the King Road house to just walk in when no one was home. Oh yeah, and Emily stated it was not uncommon at all. Okay, nope. And added, members of fraternity and several friends of the females who lived there would come and go at will. Come and go at will. There you go. And guess what? None of these people that came and went at will were Brian Kohlberger. Nobody. No. These were their friends who supposedly came and went at will. Yeah. Again, everybody in that house was at risk. Everyone was at risk in that house except Dylan and Bethany. Those two were not at risk. But the rest of them were. You certainly can bet your ass on that. All right, Payne, January 20th, reviewed. Okay, yeah, over the weekend. Dustin Blaker, the 23rd, fine, whatever. There you go. That was 122. Very interesting document here. Very interesting document, guys. Very interesting. Are they trying to set up why Murphy was missing? Is this the setup for that? We're playing in the mud. Is this the setup for that? Or is this actually what was said here in the interview? So anyway, interesting. That's 122. Let's keep going. All right, guys, moving on to 125. Skipped a little. Yeah, okay, skipped a little. 123, I skipped 124. You can check 124, friends, family, canvas of the neighborhood on 1120. Weird. Yeah, anyway, let's get on with this. 125, Gunderson, okay? His report's not put in until 124. Okay, yeah, 124. Yeah, 124. Even though this was his narrative on that day. Oh, my God. So on 11/13 at approximately 12:05, I now arrive at the King Road residence. Remember? This is another detective. We went through them all almost. Yeah. For an unconscious subject, it was quickly determined the scene was likely a quadruple unaliving based on our observations. Dylan, oh Dylan, oh Dylan. When I arrived on the 3rd floor to assess the scene, I noticed a medium-sized curly-haired tan dog named Toto Murphy, on the bed inside the western 3rd floor bedroom, later identified as Kaylee's doggy, right? Right. The dog appeared timid, scared, and didn't react to our presence. Didn't react. Due to the chaos surrounding the scene, my initial concern was preserving the scene. Okay. As part of that process, I asked one of the officers to shut the door so the dog did not attempt to jump on the bed with any of the victims. Oof. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. So the door was open. Right? Right. Yeah. The door was open. So her bedroom door is open, right? Yeah. So how is it that the dog, when the door is open, how is it that the dog is in the room and is not in Maddie's room? I don't get it. I don't get it. After the area was cordoned off and the area was secure, Corporal Snyder began taking photos of the scene. At some point prior to this process, the dog moved from the bed to under the desk in Kaylee's room. Okay, fine. He's scared. Yeah. After photos were completed, I asked Latah County Sheriff's Office Deputy Olson, Nels. Hey, Nels. Actually, this is what I was talking about. Nels is pretty nice, and well, we could put everything on credit and just buy all the wheat we need and stuff. And eggs and bacon and coffee. Okay, all right. Nels to respond. I asked Nels to respond and assist by taking the dog to the Humane Society of the Palouse for safekeeping. I collected the dog from under the desk. The dog was timid and took some coaxing to move from under the desk, but did not appear to have any obvious injuries or stains on its body or paws. Due to the amount of blood inside the bedrooms where the victims were located and the lack of blood on or around the dog, I don't believe the dog was on or around the victims. Really? Well, that's a good conclusion. Just saying. Oh my God. Walking the dog. Oh God. I walked the dog. Oh, I walked the dog to the front door. Oh my God. Hey, do you ever hear about this joke about the dog who walked to the front door? I don't know. Where the dog was, okay, where Officer Warner was stationed and asked him to hold on to the dog until Deputy Olson arrived with some coffee, okay, and some pipe tobacco. A short time later, Nels Olson arrived. I walked the dog from Officer Warner to Nels, who was standing in the street, avoiding carriages. Right. At my request, Nels Olson transported the dog to the Humane Society on horse buggy to the Palouse. I asked Nels Olson to write on the intake sheet for the Humane Society to not release the doggy to anyone else the MPT gave approval to first. After I released the dog to Nels Olson, I resumed managing the scene until I was relieved by the detective unit. I did not take any photos of the dog specifically during my response to the scene. Some of the photos taken by Corporal Snyder, evidence item number 1, have the dog in the background. The dog also can be seen on my body camera, okay? In reviewing Officer Nunes' body camera, of his initial response and clear of the residence, the door to Kaylee's bedroom was open upon his arrival, and the dog was laying on the bed. So, the door was open. So, was Maddie's door open? So the question then is, was Maddie's door open? Now, if Maddie's door is shut, that's a different story. But if Maddie's door is open, that's a whole other story. Yeah, but the door, see, Kaylee's room was not, the door was open, the dog was in there, was lying on the fucking bed. So therefore, was Maddie's room, was her door shut? If her door was not shut, and that dog wasn't just dropped back there, then that dog would have been in Maddie's room. No fucking doubt in my mind that dog would have been in that room. That dog would have been covered. At least his paws would have had blood on it. No effing doubt in my mind. All right. Yeah, that's 125, guys. So there you go. Gunderson put in way late. Like a month and 1 day later. He puts a report in, and then it was reviewed the next day. Weird how, why did this take so long for Gunderson to get his shit in here? About the dog. That's weird. The wolf is caged. So why are we now just getting our narrative in here? Way late. Look at this. What's going on here? You know? Why are we turning in our narrative so late now? Weird. Anyway, that's 125, guys, yeah. I'll wrap it up for this evening, my loves and lilies, lads, lords, dudes. Sugar moon, sugar flowers, moon lily. We're going to wrap it up here. Yeah, you guys saw this. This was the vampire's most recent order regarding the sealed documents. Okay, so yes, he wants to move forward with that. And he's already picked out the first set of documents, okay? The court requires both parties' input as outlined above and include the following So these are the first group he wants to unseal, okay? Starting from newest to oldest, supposedly, right? 724, States Exhibits S1-5, okay? S1-5. Sentence hearing, which include photographs of each of the deceased victims and a photograph of the 6 victims together. Okay. 723, orders modifying, amending, no contact order. 715, opposition to motion to vacate non-dissemination order, whatever. Now we get to the good stuff. 7925, sealed Exhibit S1 to state's response to defendant's 24th supplemental request for discovery. Yeah, all the way there. But that S1 exhibit, I want to see that. Oh, yeah. 7-3, sheriff's return concerning witness KSF. Don't know who the fuck that is. 7-2, guilty plea advisory form completed. 627, second notice of filing defense additions, objections to the juror questionnaire. 627, sheriff's return concerning witness TAD. Witness KSF. So are these the neighbors? Are these the people from PA? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Maybe. All right. 626, sealed order on defendant's... This is huge. Right? Sealed order on defendant's offer of proof regarding the alternate perpetrators. Unredacted. I want to see that one. For sure. Oh my God. I want to see if that lines up with what we've been seeing in here. Holy crap. 625, sealed Exhibit W to defendant's 24/7 order on discovery. 625, states amended notice of compliance motion to seal states amended witness list, the witness list. 618, Exhibit SB 1B, request for discovery, expert testimony. S1 to state settlement response to request for discovery, expert testimony, sheriff's return concerning witness YR. Defendant's reply in support of motion for access. Defendant's reply to state's objection to defendant's offer of proof. Alternative perpetrators and defendant's evidence in support of offer of proof. The alternative perpetrator, that's yes, we want to see that. State's motion to amend witness list. Notice of filing. Sealed defendant's amended exhibit chart. We definitely want to see that. Okay, order sealing state's response to defendant's motion. Order sealing defendant's action. Investigation. To the media. Fair investigation. Witness list. Yep. Order staying order. Order sealing defense motion. Emergency order. Motion order. Okay, so guys, you can see a lot here. Again, alternate perpetrators. The objection, the state to that. Want to see that? Yeah, tons of shit in here. Exhibit S1 to state supplemental response to defendant's request for discovery. My God. Exhibit S1 to state's response to defendant's 23rd supplemental request for discovery. Exhibit 5 to defendant's 23rd supplemental request for discovery. All right, a lot of good stuff in here. This is the first batch the judge wants ordered. Unsealed. So we shall see. All right, guys, there you go. We shall see. I think they have 2 weeks here. Yeah, they have 14 days. Okay, 14 days here. Yeah, they have 14 days to review and to come up with any objections. All right, but the objections have to be strong enough. They just can't be just, oh, well, no, we don't want that. All right, there you go, guys. That was the order. Bunch of stuff. 2 weeks. I hope we get to see unsealed very soon. All right. Love you all, babies. Let's get some beautiful dreams tonight. Oh, it's hump day, baby. We're almost through the muck. All right. Almost through the muck. All right. Love you all, babies. Bye-bye.